So welcome back to another Devblog. This time I'm going to be talking about quests, the way that you progress through the story and then eventually reach endgame. So traditionally in ARPGs you have difficulties, so you'll progress through however many acts there are. Just take Diablo 2 for example was 4, then 5 with the expansion. And then once you've completed the first game mode, you'll then repeat and typically repeat again. So I wanted to avoid that trope and focus more on having one story that flows and takes you all the way to endgame without feeling like you have to repeat content, because when you have to repeat content multiple times it can start to feel tedious, especially from my personal perspective as a player. After I'd done the main story for Path of Exile 100 times, because you have to start again with every new league, I just got burnt out very quickly after a few years of repeating that pattern. So initially I plan on having 4 acts. They're going to be quite large. I expect it to take a good player that understands what they're doing, maybe has items in reserve that they can use, anywhere from 4 to 5 hours to reach endgame, which for me is a perfect amount. Like, I don't like the idea of spending like 10 hours trying to level up to endgame, because a lot of players, they play for the endgame, especially in ARPGs. So I think 4 to 5 hours is my benchmark at this moment, to make sure that I've got a solid story in place that teaches the player mechanics. It's a good opportunity to find lots of new skills, develop your character, so you've got a direction that you'll go in when you head into endgame. I won't touch too much on lore or what each act's going to be about, because like I said, that's all on my itch page. You can read all about it there. I go as in depth as I possibly can on that page, so there's no point doing it here. I did have an idea for a new game plus, for those that enjoy story but may not enjoy endgame so much. So the idea with this was that when they reach, that is you the player, reaches the end of Act 4 and starts to venture into endgame content, shortly after entering endgame content you'll have an option to start a new game plus, which will set your character level back to 1. It'll take you right back to the start of the game, but not repeating in the game mode. So you won't go from like normal difficulty to hell or nightmare or whatever. You'll be taken to a similar style where you go through 4 acts again, but there'll be different acts with different quests, different enemies, different skills to obtain from world drops and things like that. Because the story lends itself to time travel, parallel universes, all of that stuff, it's very easy for me to feasibly insert a new chapter or a new act into the quest storyline without it feeling forced, because that was something I definitely wanted to avoid. So for example, if I was to go down this route of a new game plus, you might end up in hell or something like that, and you have 4 quests progressing through hell to try and get back to Earth because you've been trapped by a demon or the spirit of one of your brothers or sisters, something like that. So that option is always going to be there if players respond positively to the initial 4 acts and they want more story content and not so much endgame content. But that's very much going to be dictated to by the players, because my current focus is 4 story acts and then 3 different modes of endgame content. But yeah, like I say, I'm more than open to feedback, especially when I can finally get a playable demo out to you guys and you can start telling me how you experience the story, if you enjoy it, if you just want to get to endgame faster. So yeah, it's very much up in the air at this moment, but I do have plans for it if it turns out that people do want more story content. So yeah, I'll leave that there because I did touch on endgame content quite a lot in the last Devblog, so you already know quite a lot about it. I'm not too sure what I'll show in the next one. I think probably AI. Maybe have a look at the talent tree that I've been working on, just so you get an idea of how it's going to work. Yeah, I'll leave that one there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.